NASCAR will use the low downforce, high horsepower package for Daytona road course races. The stage links have been announced for the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and the Truck Series. And it looks like Timothy Peters is officially going back full-time racing in the NASCAR Truck Series. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. We got a lot of NASCAR stories to discuss here today on the channel. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. The first story we're going to talk about is Derek Cope, is that his 2021 Daytona 500 paint scheme has officially been revealed. We'll have Jacob Companies as a major sponsor on the car for this year's Daytona 500, it looks like. And I have to say that this paint scheme looks really cool, and Derek Cope will be racing in his final NASCAR Cup Series race. I like the scheme a lot, and good luck to Derek Cope in his final NASCAR Cup Series race at this year's Daytona 500. On to the next story, we're going to talk about Fox Sports' newest commercial that was officially revealed. The second ad for the Best Seasons campaign. It was basically an ad of Jeff Gordon inside an elevator and Clint Bowyer trying to get in, and then Clint Bowyer having to go up the stairs and Jeff Gordon beating him up those stairs in that elevator. It's a really good commercial, in my honest opinion. I thought the first commercial was better, to be honest with you, but I think the second one is really good. I don't know who's in charge of the ad campaigns here at Fox Sports, but I think overall they're doing a really excellent job. I do like this commercial a lot, and I hope that we get to see more epic. You really also get a lot of hilarity and hilarious moments in those commercials as well. On to the next story. Soco Pigtail is going to sponsor Stephen Parsons and BJ McLeod in 2021, basically sponsor Stephen Parsons and BJ McLeod's organization in 2021 for select races. I like the scheme a lot. It's really cool. Stephen Parsons is continuing to pick up sponsorship for 2021. I really do like the scheme a lot, and good luck to Stephen Parsons heading into the 2020 season. I do like the scheme quite a bit. On to the next story. We're now going to talk about the Daytona road course with the low downforce, high horsepower packages. NASCAR will use the low downforce and high horsepower packages for its use for the Busch Clash and the Daytona road course points paying races. I think that the race overall with the low downforce, high horsepower package are going to be a lot better. NASCAR last year used the high downforce, but they also used high horsepower as well. They had a lot of the larger rear bumpers on the cars and the larger spoilers as well on the cars, which created a lot of issues with passing, and the racing overall was not as good. The fact that they're going to be using that, I think, is going to make it a lot easier. Is going to make it a little more easier to pass. You're still going to have also good racing as well, and you're actually going to be able to pass a lot more compared if they had, the higher spoiler as well and high downforce on the cars. It would not make the racing that much better. But I do think that with them doing this, I think that the Busch Clash overall, even though there's going to be less cars, and I think the Busch Clash isn't going to be as good of a race because there's a lot less cars in the field. Even there's I think 23 or 24 cars in the field this time around. I think this will at least help the Daytona road course points paying race, and it's really good that NASCAR is heading in that direction. I wish that every single race had low downforce, high horsepower, but at least a majority of the races in 2021, including all the road courses and all the short tracks and all the tracks that are less than a mile and a half, are going to be using the high horsepower packages and the low downforce, and that's going to really help the racing overall for the Daytona road course race. On to the next story. We're going to be talking about the Rolex 24 and the Roar before the 24, as yesterday they ran the Motel 100 from the Rolex 24 to decide who was going to be on the pole. And we're going to talk about the NASCAR drivers that were involved in that, especially the guy that is on the pole. Chase Elliott's number 31 team, the Action Express Racing Organization number 31 car, is officially on the pole, which means Chase Elliott is going to be starting on the pole for this event. I think the cars to be for the Rolex 24 are going to be those Cadillacs. The Chip Ganassi car has been really, really fast, but also the 31 and the 48 cars from Action Express Racing have been really fast. And the Cadillacs have won 75% of the races since the Daytona prototype era has officially begun. So I really think that the Cadillacs are going to be really strong. The Acuras, they've actually looked pretty decent. They've actually caught up a little bit, including that 60 car for Michael Shank and Meyer Shank Racing. They have a really good shot of being up front as well. But the one thing I'm really afraid of for those Acuras is reliability. Not only are the Cadillacs strong when it comes to their speed and their pace, but they're also going to basically be a lot more reliable as well. Chase Elliott has really gotten up to speed a lot quicker than other drivers like Austin Dillon and Jimmy Johnson. It's not saying that Jimmy Johnson and Austin Dillon are 100% struggling, but you can tell when Jimmy and Austin are in the cars compared to Chase Elliott, and Chase Elliott has been getting up to speed a lot more quickly. Now, keep this in mind, Chase Elliott did not compete yesterday. The guys that are running the full championship, the guys like Mike Conway, and Felipe Nasser and Pepe Durrani were guys that had to race yesterday because they're the full season stars. You could not use your star drivers in that event. But since Jimmie Johnson's not running in NASCAR, he was getting a little bit up to speed. Yes, he's running IndyCar in 2021, basically for most of the season. But Jimmie Johnson got a little bit up to speed as well because they really needed to have some more time in the car. And Jimmie Johnson ended up doing a little bit better yesterday. But I think overall for the Rolex 24, I think either Chip Ganassi Racing or Action Express Racing, I think are going to be the teams to beat. And I think that those are the guys that are going to end up winning the Rolex 24 in 2021. On to the next story. KBM, and this is very shocking, Kyle Busch Motorsports is going to be shutting down their late model program at this current moment for 2021. I think the reason they're shutting down Kyle Busch Motorsports at this moment is because of funding issues, and I think another reason is at the moment why they're shutting this down is because of the COVID-19 pandemic. You're seeing a lot of teams overall that are shutting down at this particular time, and it really makes a lot of sense that they're at this moment. Kyle Busch doesn't see it as a necessary procedure to have a late model team at this time. They're hoping in the future to bring it back. This is not the end of the Kyle Busch Motorsports late model team. As of now, they're basically going to shut down at this particular moment. But they are in the future looking to come back in the next couple years. Maybe once all this COVID stuff is over, they're looking in the next couple years to come back and be stronger. But I found that really interesting that KBM's late model program is shutting down. It is very shocking that they are going to be shutting down as of this time. On to the next story. It looks like Brad Keselowski is going to have a new sponsor for 2021. As it was teased on NASCAR Reddit, that Keystone Light looks to be sponsoring Brad Keselowski for the 2021 season. Now, there were no details in regards to what races they are going to sponsor Brad Keselowski for 2021, but from what I've seen, I would say a few races, what I do expect them to sponsor, probably at least, especially the Coke 600, because I haven't heard anything regarding Miller Lite if they're going to sponsor or not. It's really cool that the Blue Deuce is going to be coming back, because the last time the Blue Deuce was in NASCAR for that 2-car was all the way back in 2013. And I really am not as a fan of the white cars. I think the blue is what should be on that number 2 car compared to the white. No offense to the white on the car, but I think that the blue on the car, especially for the Blue Deuce, makes a lot more sense. And it's really cool that Keystone Light is going to be sponsoring Brad Keselowski in the 2021 season. On to the next story. We're going to be talking about Alex Labbe, as he is going to be returning full-time to DGM Racing in 2021, driving the 36 car. The plans are for him to go full-time, but they're still trying to secure sponsorship for Alex Labbe heading into the 2021 season. I think Alex Labbe is a very, very talented driver, and he's gotten the best out of his equipment since driving for the DGM Racing cars, since he started racing for them back, I think, in 2018 or 2019. He started racing with them. I mean, he won a Penny Series championship back in 2017, and then he came over and raced in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and he's been putting up some really strong performances, and he's also really gone on road courses as well, which is where I think that he could really shine in this upcoming season. Labbe has deserved this opportunity. I'm really glad he's going to be coming back full-time. He's done really, really well, especially since taking over this car, this 36 team. He drove the 90 car a couple years ago. He did really well with the DGM Racing team, and I think that he will continue to perform well. What are my expectations for Alex Labbe? I think that Alex Labbe in 2021, I really think that into 2021, I think he could honestly surprise us and get some top 10s, and I think that there's a good shot that he can finish top 20 in the standings. There is a lot of competition this year, though, in 2021, but I do think that Alex Labbe in the 2021 season, he's going to put up some really strong performances, and I think in 2021, we could see some great things to Alex Labbe, and good luck to Alex Labbe headed into the 2021 season. On to the next story. Jordan Anderson is officially moving up full-time to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2021. He will be competing full-time for the Rookie of the Year in 2021, driving the number 31 car, and they will have ECR engines in 2021. And Artie Hare, who was a crew chief and worked over there in the Truck Series for Jordan Anderson, moving up as well to the NASCAR Xfinity Series, a crew chief for Jordan Anderson in 2021. Jordan Anderson, like I said, will be competing full-time for the Rookie of the Year honors, which are some pretty talented drivers going to attempt to qualify for the Rookie of the Year in 2021. I think that this is a very, very good opportunity for Jordan Anderson. Jordan Anderson, I think, is a very, very talented driver. He's been really, really good. And he's like an old school person as well, because he's an owner driver. And there's not a lot of drivers and owner drivers left in the sport. I'm talking about owner drivers. There's not as many owner drivers left in the sport at this particular time. So the fact that you're going to have an owner driver continue to make their way up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series is really, really awesome. And the fact they're going to be getting ECR engines could really help them as well. And I think there's a chance that Jordan Anderson could really surprise us in 2021. I really think the time is now for Jordan Anderson to move up because I think he really deserves this opportunity. And I think it's really cool that Bommarito's also going to be working this also. They're going to have full funding for 2021. They've been working with Bommarito Group since around 2018, which is, by the way, a St. Louis, Missouri native, which is where I'm basically from. So it's really cool that a St. Louis-based company has a lot of faith in a guy like Jordan Anderson. And Bommarito Group is a pretty big company as well. So the fact that they're going to continue to sponsor Jordan Anderson in 2021 is really cool. I think that Jordan Anderson in 2021, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I think he's a really good driver. I think he's super, super talented. And I do think in 2021, we're going to see a lot of great things from Jordan Anderson. I do expect some good runs. I do anticipate a lot of top 20s from him in 2021. I know that a lot of new teams, it takes some time for them to get up to speed, and you do have some decent competition in 2021. But I think it's really awesome if Jordan Anderson is going to be going full-time. You've got a lot of competition. I think there's a lot of in the Xfinity Series. I think overall that series is starting to become a lot more healthy. Yes, you've had some teams shut down over the last couple of years. The fact that people like Jordan Anderson are going to continue racing in that series is really, really awesome. And I think it's really awesome that Jordan Anderson is going to be going full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series headed into the 2021 season. And now we're getting on to the next story of this episode as Timothy Peters is officially coming back full-time to the NASCAR Truck Series. He'll be driving full-time for the new Rackley WAR Racing Organization in 2021, driving the number 25 car full-time in 2021. And Chad Kendrick, who has worked with Timothy Peters for many, many years, will be moving over with Timothy Peters to that team in 2021. I am super, super excited for Timothy Peters to be coming back full-time because I think Timothy Peters really got screwed a couple years ago when he was over at Red Horse Racing. He drove the ass and wheels off that car when he drove for Red Horse Racing in 2017. But unfortunately, around that time, that team shut down because of sponsorship issues. But Timothy Peters was consistently a driver contending for the championship at times, and he always contended for top fives and points at Red Horse Racing, which they were not overall always a top-tier organization, but Timothy Peters, man, was putting together some really good performances. And Chad Kendrick, like I said, has worked with Timothy Peters. I mean, a couple years ago, he came back and drove for GMS in a 25 truck and was able to basically win a race. Granted, he kind of had Noah Gragson out of the way to win the race, but he still was able to win a race. And he was really good with GMS when he drove their cars for Select Racing when he ended up replacing Dalton Sargent in the Truck Series. And Dalton Sargent was let go back in 2018 because he wasn't doing as well and sponsorship issues as well. As for Timothy Peters, let's talk about the expectations for this team, which, by the way, this team is owned by Willie Allen. I think overall, Timothy Peters is going to have a pretty good year with this team. I wouldn't be surprised if this team, yes, there's a lot of competition in trucks this year, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some top 10s or even maybe possibly some top 20s as well, especially with Timothy Peters' ability and with how competitive the Truck Series field is. I think with also Ilmore engines as well, that really is going to help this team get up to speed, and I think that there's a chance for top 10s, top 20s. Realistically, I think top 20s in the points would be like the major goal for them. I don't see this team making the championship or the playoffs as well, but I think that would be really cool if they are able to put out together some good performances. But it's also really awesome that Timothy Peters is going to be coming back full-time to race in the Truck Series headed into the 2021 season. As I'm currently editing this video at this time, it is officially announced that Ryan Vargas is going full-time racing with JD Motorsports in 2021, driving number 6 car full-time for that team. Sponsorship has not been announced currently at this time for Ryan Vargas for what sponsors are going to be sponsoring him for 2021. But Ryan Vargas is officially going full-time with JD Motorsports headed into 2021. I am so excited about this. I've been a huge fan of Ryan Vargas, and many people on social media are huge fans of Ryan Vargas as well. And I think the major reason is he's a very talented driver. We've seen what he's been able to do behind the wheel. He was able to get a top 10s with JD Motorsports equipment back in 2020 with this team. And he's got a huge following on TikTok as well with over 100,000 followers. Ryan Vargas, man, I think can contend for playoffs with this team, especially how good of a driver he is, how good of a wheelman he is behind the wheels. I think that Ryan Vargas in 2021 is going to do very good things, and I'm so excited. I cannot contain my excitement right now. I'm really excited that Ryan's going to go full-time in 2021 with JD Motorsports, man. He's going to do a lot of good things this year, and I wonder what the car is going to look like. I wonder if TikTok is going to sponsor him in 2021. We're going to have to watch and wait and see, but man, I'm super gassed up. I'm super excited. Everyone on social media should be happy about this. I'm a huge fan of Ryan Vargas. And from everyone in NASCAR social media, everybody, Ryan, congratulations on this opportunity, man. And congratulations on getting a full-time ride in 2021 with JD Motorsports. I'm really excited for you, man. And congratulations. And now we're getting on to the final major story of this episode, as we are going to be talking about the stage lengths for the NASCAR Cup Series for 2020. We're just going to talk about the major changes. Many of the races from last year, they're keeping their lengths and distance for the season, but there are some changes with some of the stage lengths for 2021. The Daytona Road Course race, the first stage will end on lap 16, lap 34 of the second stage, and then the final stage will end on lap 70. So the Daytona Road Course race is going to be 70 laps. The Bristol Dirt Race is going to be cut from 500 laps to 250 laps. I think it absolutely makes sense. You want that Bristol Dirt Race cut. I expect it to be about 250 or around 300 laps because equipment can get really tore up, especially if it's 300 laps. And you can put some people in danger, especially with there being no safety barriers this upcoming season for this upcoming race. I think it makes a lot of sense to cut that down to 250 miles. Circuit of Americas has not been determined at this time. They haven't even announced the length of what the miles is going to be for the race at this time, so there is no announcement for that. But that should be determined very, very soon, especially since Circuit of Americas is about the 9th or 10th race of the year. You eventually want to announce that and announce how long that race is going to be. The All-Star race at this time has also not been determined at this particular moment. I do anticipate it being about 200 to 300 miles, or about 200 miles for the All-Star race. Nashville is going to be 300 laps, which I think is around 400 miles in a race. So it's going to be a 400-mile race, and it's going to be 300 laps. Road America is going to be 62 laps for this upcoming event. Atlanta is going to be, the second Atlanta race, I should say, is going to be 206 laps, so it's going to be a 400-mile race. And the Indy Road Course is going to be 82 laps. I think the stage lengths makes a lot of sense, and I overall think that the stage lengths are really cool. And that's basically the stage lengths for 2021 for the NASCAR Cup Series. So, anyway, that is going to be it for today's NASCAR news video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, notifications so you get notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links description below for that, and support me on Patreon as well. Links description below for that, and comment below your thoughts on today's video. What are your thoughts about Jordan Anderson moving up full-time to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2021? Are you excited about that or not? Let me know in comments below. And what are your thoughts about the stage lengths and NASCAR using the low downforce, high horsepower package for the Daytona Road Course race? Let me know in comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like it so YouTube can recommend more of these videos out to you guys. If you do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.